Hey,
this is the best panel of the day. Come on.
That's okay. No, you guys got something else to do. I see. That's all right.
I guarantee you, if you sat here and listened to us talk about Web3, you would understand that we have revenue-generating systems for every one of your athletes, every one of your businesses, every one of your ecosystems and verticals. So you might want to listen.
They don't like more revenue, right?
Nope, hate it.
No. All right.
They hate it.
Whoever sticks around is in for another good 20 minutes. So I want to introduce my panelists, but I really want to give my panelists an opportunity to introduce themselves. So we've got Rickey, we've got JChains, we've got Stache. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, so I am the CEO of Final Frontier, a professional gaming organization with a goal to unite people and create change through gaming. We just hit 2 years old, and now in 34 countries, and with just under 6,000 gamers. And we're also now into the tech, media, and entertainment with our own 2 magazines to educate and bring more awareness to not just Web2 gaming, but Web3 gaming and the space.
Nice to meet you. My name is Justin. I go by JChains in the crypto space. I host a daily podcast. It's on Twitter. We also live stream to YouTube, LinkedIn, and several other platforms. It's called Web3 Breakfast. We are it's a community show, by the community, for the community. You know, we really give everybody a chance to have a voice and have a platform because we are all about fostering collaboration. That's my main focus right now. That's my show. I've been creating content alongside Stache since 2018 in the crypto space. But most importantly, one thing that we're trying to accomplish is a chain lab. I live in Atlanta. My show host is going to come down there pretty soon. And we want to build a financial literacy blockchain education center, but also a community development center, right? So there's opportunities. Again, we talk about verticals, we talk about revenue streams, all that stuff. Guys, this is a brand new ecosystem and economy, and the more people that we can bring in a positive way, because I'm sure you all know that, you know, in the crypto space, you think, how's that going for you? Or NFTs, which you got a monkey picture? Like, yeah, there's a lot of really cool building and stuff happening in the Web3 space. We'd love for anybody to come and check out the show. It's Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. You can find it on X, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Thank you.
He's done. That's it. My name is CryptoStache. I just go by Stache most of the time these days. I am a streamer, gamer, entrepreneur. I've been in the gaming space for quite some time and also the cryptocurrency space since 2013. I've pretty much seen it all, and I've kind of combined both of those passions together, right? And it's been a fun journey. But really what we do is I try and connect with the community and showcase what the power of blockchain and NFTs can be in gaming specifically, but across a lot of other entertainment verticals, which are, you know, are pretty important. When you talk about entertainment in general, you know, gaming is one of the largest ones, and sports plays a big part of that as well in gaming. But I have a question before we get started here. How many of you guys consider esports an actual sport? Raise your hand. It's okay, don't be afraid if you don't. All right, not bad. Okay. All right, I'll take it. Thanks.
My first question was going to be, why do they call you Stache?
You know, many moons ago when I was born, it was the weirdest thing. The dot popped out, and it was already on my face. And so they're like, "Hey, we'll just decree it now."
Was it wax already?
This is not even wax. I literally wake up like this every day. It's just kind of a weird phenomenon, and I just ran with it. And so, you know, it kind of has a mind of its own these days. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm on stream and it gets me to do some things that maybe you guys
Stache,
think a little unsavory, but.
This is a sports conference. Do we have any sports fans here? Any baseball fans in the room? Anyone remember Wally Fingers? Wally Fingers is on the stage with us this evening. So, my first question to our esteemed panelists: what is the future of interactive entertainment?
So, imagine an environment for gaming that challenges everything we thought we knew about economics, about the euphoric experience of gaming, about corporate promotion, about revenue earning. And we actually have a sample video for you all right now to be able to see what I'm talking about.
Roll that beautiful footage. Oh, there it goes.
History has begun right here. Global Sports Business Forum, thanks to Jay Tucker.
Jay.
What do you have for Jay Tucker?
Yeah. Jay. Woo!
By the way, little trivia tonight. Jay Tucker was my TA back when I was a student at Anderson. Little history. JChains, future of interactive entertainment.
I'm sure if you haven't watched the movie, maybe you read the book, right? Like me, I listened to the audiobook. I thought that was the best way to understand. And I guess it was very captivating. Ready Player One. You guys, right? Let's get to the Oasis. That is the future of where we're going. 10 years from now, maybe?
Ooh, that's
15 years
from
from now. Right. So the whole idea is that's where we're going. We're going digital, right? Everything's going digital. Money's going digital. Everything is going digital. The way that you communicate with people is going digital. We all know that. We're already living in the metaverse. Raul Paul, I don't know if you guys know who Raul Paul is. I think it was about a year and a half ago in an interview. He's saying, listen, you're already living in the metaverse, right? When you FaceTime somebody, when you Zoom call somebody, when you just talk to them on the phone, you're not actually talking in real life. That's a digital re-representation of their voice and their likeness, right? If it's a Zoom call. Okay, so you're already in the metaverse. That's the future. Now, once we get into a fully immersive society ecosystem, that's when you're going to see stuff like the Oasis. That's going to blow everyone's mind. But again, 15 years, 10, 15, anywhere from 10 to 20 years until you see like what you saw in that movie, The Oasis. So you can like plug in and forget about life.
No, I mean, the development's already here when you look at the fact that if we wanted to share messages with each other just 30 years ago, well, it was a note on a piece of paper you slid somebody in class, or
you gotta fold it fancy first.
or
will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
No.
Or the gaming was, the first multiplayer was just you sitting next to someone else with a cord plugged into the game system. Now you can play against 50 other people anywhere around the world. The experience has also changed so that it can be wireless, it can be VR. So we're watching this all evolve, and some people aren't paying attention, but the future is not just coming, it's already here.
You guys have made reference to the metaverse. What should everyone here understand about the metaverse? Where are we? Where are we going?
So, to answer that question, I'm going to piggyback on what the question you answered, or you asked previously. I think really the future comes down to accessibility, right? Being able to provide more accessibility between, or foster that link and that relationship between someone like a content creator or an athlete and their fans. And some of the technologies we're seeing emerging right now in Web3 and blockchain help to do that in a way that we have not had the ability to do in a verifiable way until now. We've had ways to do it, but not in a way that you can say, yes, I know for sure that this person is a fan, and I can verify that fact. And so there's a lot of cool things that we're seeing, and then we talk about, well, why does that, how's it tied into a metaverse? Well, you need those things. If you're going to have a full digital representation of yourself as a gaming avatar, right? Because if you're going in there and you're spending real time and real money and making real relationships, yet all of the items and data you can't be trusted because it's all in one centralized server and can't be verified independently or transparently in any kind of way, then you start to have problems. And we already see those problems are arising in all of the systems that we use currently, right? It doesn't matter what industry you're in, you know that there's a problem out there. If you're in an industry and you're here and passionate about it, then you know at least one problem in your industry that could be solved by something. Maybe you don't know what it is. And at this point, could it be blockchain? It could. It could be something else. But I think in general, there are a lot of applications there that help with that accessibility between an individual and their fans or an entity and their community. And that is the biggest driver of what will take us from where we're at right now with what people call a metaverse, which we don't truly really have in the sense of like what JChains is saying is a Ready Player One where literally everything is connected, but we're getting there. And it's not something that I think most people really understand what technology needs to be laid, the foundation needs to be laid before we can get to that point. But we will. But the fact of the matter is it going to be VR? Is it going to be AR? Is it going to be something that you're going to spend your entire life in? I mean, probably not, to be perfectly honest. But a metaverse can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. But we're just not there yet. But the technology is getting very close. And so, but when you talk about that, well, how does that translate into sports or into these other verticals? I think that you guys, there's some great examples we're already seeing. How many people have seen played any kind of sports games and be able to have or purchase their favorite player in that game and play at them? Well, that's going to come in a bigger way here in the future, where you have the ability to do that, but ownership of that too.
But we're also we're seeing this in the sports world already, right? Like with the example, we're seeing more and more professional teams, and there's an organization that's handling a lot of this right now, where they're going to take their stadiums, they're going to make them virtual, right? So now, as a fan, you can go in and have this amazing virtual experience that only maybe other holders or community members, as we like to call them in Web3, are participating in, right? So now you've got these crazy fan experiences that are exclusive to only people that are participating in this. So now you can do meet and greets, and it's very easy for someone like Stache to sit in front of a camera and have a conversation with anybody sitting in a room where they have to be at their house. Technically, that's like the metaverse right now, right? So that now you could have a Q&A session with Stache that you either won, with some kind of raffle system, or because you're a season ticket holder, whatever it happens to be. There literally are so many applications for how you can reward your loyal fans, even your athletes, your student athletes, with programs like the metaverse and how we start to incorporate blockchain into NIL and all this stuff. I mean, and it's really weird for me because on full circle, I was in the collegiate athletic space in a different capacity for many years before I got into Web3. So to see all these opportunities that y'all are looking at, like I know your pain points, and I know blockchain can solve a lot of them. Let's have a conversation.
I definitely think purpose matters, right? But everyone has a purpose in that particular gaming metaverse, or just standard metaverse. Yahooverse is a great example. Moonverse is a great example. What you all just saw on the screen of Star Atlas, okay? Imagine a planet that is going to have a concert on it with Deadmau5, the DJ. And if you own one of his NFTs, that is your virtual ticket to the concert. So you can get on your spaceship, fly on over to the concert, and the venue could be owned by any one of your businesses or corporations or organizations, and there's your revenue share in a virtual environment. Just as simple as putting on a VR set and you're there.
The virtual concert thing is very important, because this is something like I just talked about. You at UCLA here, you literally could make a virtual environment for the Poly Pavilion, right? And now the top 10 metaverse concerts that they've had so far, and it's like Justin Bieber, Marshmello, Ariana Grande, the list goes on and on. The top 10 of these concerts had 185 million views combined, right? So if you charged $1 for each one of these people to come in, that's $185 million. Do you see where this is going? Like exponential growth of revenue streams for the virtual world, and it's just something we're scratching the surface of. It's like we like to say we are building the plane as we're flying it, and that's like legit.
Well, and to my point, what is that? Accessibility, right? How many people can get to the Poly Pavilion and how many can't? But when you have those digital representations, you increase accessibility, right, to these products. So you can reach more fans in a more meaningful way, right, across all verticals, which, and then you can do things like verify, like, yes, I know this person is a fan. Not just that they're following me on social media, not that they just watch me, on Sunday, but the fact that, yes, I can verify through this thing that they hold, I know they're a fan, and then you can reward those fans in unique ways and do interesting things to give them more accessibility to yourself or to your organization in ways that you couldn't really do without possible fraud or other malicious things being thrown in there too, where that's a pretty big industry. I mean, it's a pretty big issue in a lot of different industries, for sure.
And the reason why I would say gaming is going to be the conduit, right? That future, that bull run, so to speak, is because in the traditional side of things, there's 3.7 billion gamers in the world. Only 1.8 million total in the Web3 space right now, and only about 175,000 that are always active. Imagine what our world looks like when that 1.8 million becomes 100 million, 500 million. Corporations are using the gamers, the video games, as conduits for promos, for products. Imagine walking in a virtual environment, seeing this microphone, paying for it, and that microphone shows up at your door. That's what these metaverses are going to bring.
So I want each of you to share a couple of high level and a couple of granular takeaways for everyone here around the business side of everything we're talking about. You're a creator, you're a brand. What should you understand today? What should you understand going forward?
If you did. Well, I guess the big takeaway, for anybody that, and I assume, there's a lot of the athletic department here, right? And so at the end of the day, right, NIL is a big thing for you. And I was at the NFT LA, this was, 2 years ago? And we've been, actually, Stache and I were talking to this guy. He's like a contracts lawyer, right? And he was talking about how, when you, as a professional athlete, or we all even know that musicians are in predatory contracts, right? So now what they can do is you say, I'm going to draw a line in the sand. And so now, this version of me, that's the physical me. That's the one that's in the shitty contract. This is my digital version. So now I can go out and get my own sponsorships. I can go eat my own deals. I can, we like for what we're building in networks as content creators, like the buying power, right? So now if I've got Stache, me, Turbo, and Rick, and we're all trying to, build content, like now we can go to a sponsor and say, hey, listen, we got his eyes, my eyes, his eyes, his eyes. So now instead of, giving me a $5,000 sponsorship or whatever, it's a $50,000 sponsorship because of our collective buying power. That's what you guys have to understand. Is like, you can help your athletes, you can help your, esports teams, you can help your gamers, like, literally ease into this and let them know that there is an entire ecosystem waiting for them. Because what is it? The number one people want to be right now. What's the number one job, if you guys had to guess, that any kid wants to be right now?
Streamer.
Streamer. They don't want to be doctors. They don't want to be firefighters. They don't want to be astronauts anymore. They want to be content creators and influencers. What do you say to your kid that wants to be an NFL player? Get on the field and practice. What do you say to your kid that wants to be an NBA player? Go shoot hoops. What if your kid says, I want to be a gamer? What are you going to say to him? It's never going to work. Get outside. I saw a hand up there. But what do you say to your kids when they want to be a professional gamer? Sit down on that couch and play those games. That seems so counterintuitive. There are kids making millions of dollars playing video games. It's a viable thing.
I think one of the biggest takeaways here is that educational piece. Learn what's coming. And when you properly learn, you have the ability to earn. We're going to see this in college. We're going to see it in high school. We're already seeing it in middle schools. You're going to see it influence NIL. You're going to see it influence way of life at home, right? People's jobs are going to be to wake up, earn from a phone. There's some in here right now earning on Star Atlas as they're taking part in the forum. And some of you had no idea. It's already happening. But that education piece is the biggest. How do we incorporate this into classes? How do we incorporate this into work plans? Training, right? Job training. This is real digital.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's technology, and that's something that's always hard to incorporate. When you talk high level, what I would say is that, yeah, if you've not gotten a lot of exposure to cryptocurrency and Web3, maybe it's a very surface level, you might not think that it can impact your business in a positive way. But the problem is because there's a lot of hype that's been pushed around that. But really when it comes down to it is blockchain technology in its most simple form could increase your productivity and your efficiency by 20%. How many people would want 20% more profit or 20% more efficiency in their business? Where it can replace an existing system that you are already using, but just be a little bit more efficient, a little bit more transparent, a little faster, right? So we talk about high level, that's what I would say is that, if you are not finding ways to incorporate blockchain and also AI here coming soon, or right now too, but those things will exponentially help you to be more productive, right? Now,
and this could be answered by you, this could be answered by anyone here. How?
Well, I mean, it's going to be different for every business, right? When it comes down to it, but you talk about the efficiency of the blockchain, being able to record these transactions or be able to look at this data in a transparent manner that cannot be messed with, right? No one can go in there and change numbers or budget things, turn 1,000 into 10,000 for themselves. How many times we see accounting errors or other areas with systems because they simply don't have that immutability. And you guys don't understand, immutability simply means that it cannot be changed. right? So that transparency and that immutability can be a boon to a lot of companies, right? When you see like, hey, only the head, CFO has this data. Well, turns out he's been screwing everybody over. We didn't know, and we didn't really have any good way to know because he had full control of this. There's no transparency, right? So there's a lot of ways you can apply blockchain technology to your particular business. It's just being open to finding where it can fit in and how it can make what you're doing more efficient, the system you're building. They can be closed systems too. It doesn't necessarily have to be a public system, but transparent.
Esports is going to be a big one, right? Because a lot of you may not know, sometimes it takes quite a while to get those earnings from esports tournaments.
And that's a great point. And so you talk about earnings in general, for athletes, for esports players, for musicians. Me being a musician as well, I understand this, and trying to get those residual checks or those sponsorship checks, sometimes that shit takes forever. But imagine a blockchain-based system where as soon as the action that you have completed to meet your contract is done, it automatically executes, this code automatically executes and sends you that money directly to your account in seconds. Not weeks, not days, not months, and it's there, ready to go. Is that not more efficient than having to cut a freaking paper check and then send it out by mail?
Stache, I just want to be mindful of the clock. I have about 7 minutes left. I want to save some time for audience questions, but I want to ask one more question to the three of you, which is something that I think is interesting, not only to MBA students, but to students studying across UCLA, which is analytics. Hot in just about every business and a big part of what each of you are involved in, each of you are engaged in. Can you share what anyone here should understand about data analytics and how it relates to the world of interactive entertainment?
Yeah, so there's a multitude of ways that can happen. For one, the data is going to be public ledger, but also the data can be sharded. This is very helpful for organizations that have to move a lot of data or store a lot of data, because the blockchain has the ability to do that 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000 times faster. And so when it comes to pay systems, when it comes to data storage, video storage even, the blockchain is going to have some sort of way to not just make it public ledger, but also to make it very easy of access to store that information.
I love analytics, and I'm not even joking. As a podcaster, as a YouTuber, as someone who's constantly putting stuff out there, I always and this is we'll bring it full circle here, but I'm always constantly checking how can I be better, right? And that doesn't change in blockchain. How can things be better? How can you I don't know. I love analytics for this reason.
So, what it comes down to is analytics. Do you think every piece of data they get is 100% correct? When you talk about, hey, if I'm analyzing this thing, how many clicks did it get? How many views did it get? How many impressions did it get? You know how easy that stuff is to fake or bot? And then that's now. And now with the rise of AI, does it get even easier? Yes, it does. What's the solution there? How do we get true analytics? How do we truly understand what is actually happening and not what's being manipulated? Once again, blockchain technology can help with that, right? We talked about the transparency and this information being pushed through a blockchain and a public ledger in some cases, or sometimes maybe a private ledger. You can understand this was a valid click. This was a valid interaction with whatever we're doing. Versus, I don't know, it could have been bots, it could have been the same guy coming on 5 different phones and clicking yes 1,000,000 times, right? But blockchain technology empowers you and gives you the tools to be able to fight that.
Questions from the audience? Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Hello. Hi, my name is Vishaka, and I'm a student at UCLA Law. So I had 2 questions with regards to when you spoke about the music concerts in metaverse. The first being, what do you think is the appeal in concerts like that, as opposed to say just viewers viewing, say a live reel of the artist's performance? Is it just like a more immersive experience, Or do you think there's really a difference as opposed to, you know, just like seeing an artist's Instagram and them performing live on that?
Oh yeah, no, it's totally, it's more immersive, right? So if you go into one of those virtual concerts, you're actually like on the dance floor with all of your friends, and some of these metaverses actually have spatial audio, so everybody that's there, you can just talk and everybody can hear the same thing. Now maybe, you know, in geolocate, so if you're in that corner of the room, the only people there can hear it, and over there, whatever. So like, yes, it's way more immersive, and you can actually be there having a conversation with somebody on the dance floor while the band's up on stage.
And it provides those who don't have the resources or the money to make that trip to get there, right? Let's say concerts in Florida. I live in Georgia or Texas, it may be easier. But when I lived in the UK, when I lived in India, when I lived in, Africa or something like that, well, now the amount of resources and funds needed is amplified greatly.
We like to say it's borderless, right? It's borderless. You can be anywhere, and you can be anything, anywhere, at any time, and everybody gets the same opportunity to participate in the ecosystem.
We have time for one.
I have just like a second.
We have 2 minutes left. Can we take it offline? Our panelists are going to stick around. Yes, back.
I'll definitely stand over there and answer as many questions as you have until every question is answered, because I love questions.
Hello, how's it going? I'm BC, or everybody call me Time, TYMED, teaching online every day. I was a question about diversity and actually access of more different communities, like especially minority communities and women who aren't really necessarily involved in a lot of this space. How do you see being able to reach out to those communities and be able to have that community be more involved in the whole process?
Ladies, if you're listening, the camera, if you're listening, we need more women in Web3. We need you here. There is a space for you to come get in where you fit in. We literally need more women, we just need more diversity, right? It can't be all white guys doing this stuff. We need everyone. So please, hit us up in the DMs, shoot me an email, come and we'll teach you how to do it. Just get into Web3, please.
We have, Final Frontier is actually working on a solution to that, right? Because every problem does have a solution. And that is meta power. And that's where we are putting out there the voices of women around the world, their stories, visions, goals, dreams, passions, their artwork, their projects, their businesses, and being able to tell their stories. And so it's not just asking women to empower other women. It's a group of the 4 horsemen, men, who said, hey, you know what, fellas? Let's give the women their floor in an environment that is heavily riddled with men, right? Especially in the gaming environment, where men outweigh women 25 to 1.
Rickey, JChains, Stache, our great audience, thank you. Big round of applause.